Hello and welcome back to This Day in History. It is July 21st, 2024, and as you know, it doesn't matter about the year so much as it is about the day and the history of the day. I'm doing something a little bit different here. I'm actually, instead of writing down notes, I'm on my laptop. So I'm going to read off my laptop and see how well this works. So, our very first birthday today for July 31st is American writer Ernest Hemingway. He not only was he a writer, but he also served in World War I believe. He was a war veteran. He died at the age of 61 in 1961. I should say that his birthday is today, 1899, rather. So he was, pretty interesting writer. He had a granddaughter, I believe she was his granddaughter, Mariel Hemingway. She was an actress during the 1980s. Pretty good-looking actress too. So next we have Marshall McLuhan, a Canadian educator born in 1911. Norman Jewison is a Canadian director and producer born in 1926. Janet Reno, she was the United States Attorney General during the Clinton administration. She was born in 1938. I didn't realize she was I knew she was older. I didn't think she was that old. She was only 2 years younger than my dad. Passed away in 2016. I don't know if I ever knew that she had passed away. She was the Attorney General. She took a lot of flack for the whole incident in Waco, Ruby Ridge, and the like. So, and the last birthday that we have for today, for July 21st, is American comedian and actor Robin Williams. His birthday was today. He was born in 1951, so he would have been 73 today. My math is right, which I think it is. So, yeah, I miss that guy. He was funny. So, let's set the Wayback Machine to 1613. Michael Romanoff. I'm actually surprised it's spelled as Michael instead of Michelle, because Romanoff being Russian. He was crowned the Tsar of Russia on this day in 1613, founding the Romanov dynasty. So we talked about Tsar Nicholas II not too long ago, a couple days back actually. And, that family had ruled Russia for, about 300 years. So, yeah. So now we have, we know of its origins, its beginnings. It was on this day in 1613 that the Romanov dynasty got its start, with the crowning of Michael Romanov. In 1774, the Treaty of Kukuk-Kaynarka was signed at the conclusion of the Russo-Turkish War of 1768 to 1774. 1861 Civil War. It's the first Battle of the Bull Run. It's often called the First Manassas by the South. It was fought, obviously, during the Civil War. That one was a pretty bloody engagement between the two, and I think, if I remember right, I think the Confederates won that one. I'm not entirely sure. We actually talked about John T. Scopes the other day. If you recall, he was the high school teacher that was put on trial for teaching Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, which was in violation of the state of Tennessee. Their state law had violated. It was a violation of Tennessee state law. There we go. So he was on trial, and it ended with his conviction on this day in 1925. In 1954, you talk about the Geneva Conventions, the Geneva Accords, sometimes what it's referred to. It effectively, these specific accords, they divided Vietnam at the 17th parallel. I believe it was also those same accords where they put out rules of engagements for wartime, like it was actually illegal to kill medics or to shoot at medics or whatever, but I mean, the Viet Cong did that anyway. That's why my dad always removed everything that identified him as a medic when he went out in the field. I asked him one time if he was allowed to do that. He said he didn't care. And, well, their platoon leader didn't seem to give him too much guff about it, so there's that. So on this day in 1960, politician Sirimavo Bandaranaike became the world's first female prime minister when she took office in Ceylon, which Ceylon is now known as Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka had the very first female prime minister, and that was all the way back in 1960. A year later, in 1961, Virgil Grissom became the second American to enter space during Project Mercury. Gus Grissom would be, unfortunately, he'd also die in a later, that would have been a mission. I think it might have been the Mercury project still. I don't think it was the Apollo project just yet. Could have been Gemini. I'm not really sure, but I do know that he did die several years later, quite a few or a few years later. 1967, Albert John Luthuli, president of the African National Congress from 1952 to 1960, and the first African to be awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace in 1960, died after being struck by a train. Don't know how you could do that, because it's a train, it's big. You would, like, give it a wide berth? I don't know. In 1983, the world's lowest recorded temperature of minus 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 89.2 Celsius, centigrade, whatever. It was measured in Vostok Station in Antarctica. In 1987, American heavy metal band Guns N' Roses releases the landmark album Appetite for Destruction, which sold more than 17 million copies. I remember when they hit the scene. I remember I didn't like them all that much. I really didn't get into their music until after they as a band broke up. Go figure. 2007, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, the final book in J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, was released. And I think I remember that release. I think my friend Thad and I went to Walmart at the midnight release of that book. I remember thinking, like, man, this is, like, really huge. I never really got into the Harry Potter thing, so I didn't really quite get it. Could not understand why it had such a huge fan phase following. I mean, it was just fans are just crazy for, gotta have another Harry Potter book. So, yeah. 2011, the United States Space Shuttle program ended after 135 missions as the orbiter Atlantis landed at NASA's JFK Space Center in Cape Canaveral, Florida. That's not too far from Orlando. And the featured event is that on this day in 1798, the Egyptians defeated in Battle of the Pyramids. Napoleon's army of Egypt used a new military tactic, the massive divisional square, to defeat the Egyptian forces of Murad Bey this day in 1798 at the Battle of the Pyramids during Napoleon's Egyptian campaign. So there's your day in history for today, July 21st. We will do this again tomorrow for July 22nd. So be well, take care, have a blessed day, and we'll yak at you later. All right, take care. Bye.